more talk on the EV revolution, electronic vehicles, but this time we're going to focus on BYD, which is a Chinese company. So we have Paulina and Molly, and let's get it going. Good morning, ladies. How are you? Molly and Paulina, how are you guys?
Doing well. How are you?
We're great.
Good. It's it feels like it's been a while, but it's just been really a week.
You're back in your studio, Lex.
I know, right? I'm not traveling on a Monday. Go figure. That starts again. On a Friday. That starts again next Monday.
So yeah, we're packing it. Paulina and I are coming with you. We just decided we're gonna
do the show on the road.
Watch anymore. Yeah,
it'll be fun doing a show on the road.
Yeah, you wouldn't like it. I'm just going golfing. It's no fun.
I'll drive the cart. I'm totally good at that.
Wait. Are you the cart girl? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I will bring cocktails and I'll drive the cart. I'll chauffeur.
Okay. Very good. Okay, Paulina, I know you're so busy that you have to get in and out of here, and we appreciate your time. So let's get right to it. So BYD, first of all, what the heck does that stand for? We talked about this pre-show, and Molly had a guess. I didn't really have a guess, but what does it mean?
Thought it was like, BYOB, bring your own beers, but it's like bring your own driver. So
I don't think so. What is it, Paulina?
So BYD stands for Build Your Dreams. BYD.
Those Chinese, they're creative.
I will say I did see a interview with Wang, and he says that when he first came up with that, he didn't really have an idea what it meant. So I think the Build Your Dreams came later with the marketing push. But hey.
What the heck? Yeah. That the American marketers got involved.
Right.
By the way, who is Wang? Is that the guy who invented this? Is he the Elon Musk of BYD? Wang?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. He was in.
Tell us, Paulina, who started this company?
Yeah, what's this all about, Paulina?
Yeah,
I gotta be honest, I don't know anything about this, really.
Right. Yeah, I think it would be good to kind of start with the background of BYD, who they are, what they do, and why they're in the news lately, because they've been around since, I think, in the late 90s. They really jumped into the scene in the early 2000s, but more recently, as EVs have gained traction, BYD is in the news. So BYD, of course, as we mentioned, it's a Chinese EV maker. It has become the world's top EV competitor, but it's not only a leader in its home country, in China, it's been growing its presence internationally as well. So in 2013, just to give you an idea of their activity, they sold more than 3 million vehicles globally. But apart from electric vehicles, BYD also sells plug-in hybrids. So they have access to that market as well. But BYD's success has really helped it scale into so many different markets. It opened an EV plant in Indonesia. It has plans to invest in plants in Hungary and in Thailand. But more recently, BYD is considering to invest a plant in Mexico. Oh. And this is really important. Mexico is of strategic, geopolitical importance because it's one of the world's largest vehicle manufacturers and exporters, and it's a regional trade partner with the US. So automakers who build there, they have clear access to the North American market to easily expand their exports to regional markets. So it makes sense that BYD has its sights set on Mexico for two reasons. First and foremost, it would be able to avoid these massive tariffs that they have to pay in order to export their vehicles out of China. And two, they would be able to easily penetrate the US EV market. So that's kind of getting some US automakers scared, but because they're such a competitive threat on a global scale.
So are they I might have missed this, sorry, but they have no base in America. Is that right or not right?
I don't think so. I don't think they have a base yet. They have been expanding into international markets. They have successfully been able to gain the gained the Chinese market and European market, and it's expanding in Southeast Asia as well, but it hasn't been able to really capture the hearts and minds of the US market yet.
Got it.
And currently they are embedded in selling to the defense departments and also transportation. So buses. And so the rule is that they are supposed to build inside of the US so that they don't take away American jobs. But what's thought to be happening is that they're building in China, shipping over and just assembling here. And then the mayor of Albuquerque just came out with that these buses are failing. And so there's been a change that will go about later with the Defense Authorization Act that's going to change everything. So towards the end, we'll touch base with that because that's a big deal.
Interesting.
How does BYD and Tesla differ? You own a Tesla, Lex.
I do. I got to be honest. I've never seen a BYD. I'm getting nervous. I mean, maybe I've seen it and I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
I think Pauline is saying that maybe it's not even here yet. I don't know. I'm going to have to look this up.
Yeah. So how does it compete with Tesla and other automakers? Well, BYD, like I said, they have a proof of concept in China and in Europe and also other global markets. But I think it's important to consider that the state of EV demand in the US has slowed. And that's bad news, not only for BYD, but for all automakers. And on top of that, it's going to take some time for them to kind of build out in the US if they do, in fact, decide to invest in their in a plant in Mexico. It takes time to produce, actually build the factory. And then once you produce the vehicles and export the vehicles, that also takes time. So this isn't necessarily a short-term risk, maybe more of a long-term risk. And that's kind of good news for the US automakers who are trying to become profitable in the EV market right now. They've been investing billions of dollars, but they haven't been able to turn a profit yet. So this gives them a chance to kind of reassess their EV strategies to kind of catch up with BYD, who is much more matured in that space. I'll also add there they have a semiconductor business and they do a lot of business with electronics, and that has actually helped them with their EV success as well. So there's a few components to the anatomy of BYD's company.
So it sounds like they are the overall leader in electric vehicles without really having a gigantic presence in America. So they're killing it in China and other places overseas, right? Yeah.
I think one thing to note is that those statistics, I think, are including both hybrid and electric. So apples to apples, full electric to sales. I'd love to see the comparison between full electric Tesla to just isolating full electric BYD.
Yeah, but even though theoretically it appears that BYD has been doing really well, its stock has been lagging. And that's also been a point of the news. Its stock is down, I think, about roughly 8% the last time I checked. Year to date, it dropped 23% in 2023. But in order to lift shares, we recently saw a few things in the news. BYD proposed doubling its share buyback. And this was according to a recent exchange filing. The idea here was to enhance investor confidence and bring more value to the company. I will add that BYD, it's not listed on the US stock exchanges. It is listed on the Hong Kong and Shenzhen stock exchanges for those who are interested in looking the stock up. But apart from the buyback, they also last week unveiled this new electric supercar, and that is called the U9, and it reaches up to speeds of 190 miles per hour. And it's a part of their luxury brand called Yang Wang, and one vehicle costs $233,000. So this is being compared to, let's say, like a Ferrari and other legacy supercar brands. it was just announced. There's no deliveries yet scheduled or anything like that. But those are some of the latest things that came out of the company in order to kind of try to give some momentum to the stock, which has been lagging.
Interesting.
I think one thing to see too is that I think their the flagship model is a lower price point. It goes much slower. The range is much shorter. So when you talk about statistics, comparative statistics, they talk more about quantity. So that's easy. If you're comparing Tesla to BYD, it's obviously easier to climb on top of Tesla if you have just a lower price point and more quantity. Right. But I think it's question I have was how does BYD in this continuing growth, how is it going to affect the U.S. markets?
Yeah, well, right now, if you think about what the consequences of BYD would be in the U.S. markets, obviously it would create more competition in the U.S. And we know that with more competition, there might be some flexibility in prices. And that could mean EVs might become cheaper. Obviously, that would be bad news for the U.S. automakers. And the fact, basically, when it comes, the bottom line would be if BYD were to come to the U.S., it would overall be a negative for the U.S. automakers because they have the proof of concept. They know they have the strategy down. And it's all about execution for them versus U.S. Automakers, particularly the legacy ones that have recently started investing in building out electric vehicles. They're still kind of reassessing and adjusting their EV strategy. Like I said, some of them are not even profitable yet. So that gives the fact that they're not here yet, BYD gives them some time to figure out how to catch up with them by the time they do reach the US market.
Do we know how their batteries compare to like a Tesla battery? To me, my big thing about the EV market is we've talked about this on another show. The American consumer is losing a little interest, right, in buying EVs. And my personal feeling is maybe it's expensive. It's not quite affordable enough. Ease of charging is a big deal. Not everyone has a garage with a 240, plug in it, and 3 battery life, right? So if someone solves those 3 things, we're going to have a winner, I think, assuming that the target market isn't like someone who's in the car for 9 hours a day, like me, who's not in the car for 9 hours a day, 9 minutes a day, better. So, I wonder how their battery, I don't expect you to know this, Paulina, but I'm just wondering, just curious, do they have a better battery range by any chance? Because that's a big deal to me, I think.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure about the technicals there, but I know that in order to be successful in EVs, you have to have the right battery technology. It has to be cost effective. And I know that's something that a lot of the US automakers have been struggling with.
Right.
But I think when it comes to quality, if I'm not mistaken, Tesla's kind of the number 1 there. And I think that right now, what BYD has leverage in is that consumers, they are willing to go for kind of a cheaper model. And I think that BYD has a more of a economical price point for some of those consumers who might not be able to afford a Tesla.
Okay, makes sense.
The battery is called a blade battery, and
what does that mean, Mal?
Yeah, Wayne, get back to us. What in the world does that mean?
Hold on, I'm a Gemini it. I can't say BART anymore. I'm going to Gemini that little thing.
So they use a lithium ion phosphate battery. It's supposed to be safer, more durable, and so I think a lot of Ford and other companies were, and I think Elon is actually utilizing some of their tech. Buying some of those batteries, which will change in 2027. The most recent Defense Authorization Act included a ban on buying BYD batteries, which is a big deal, along with 5 other Chinese corporations. Apparently, Wang has, he touts that it's a public company, but a lot of their major investors and VC are actually government funded. So, and they've had billions in subsidies from the government, and he's also held positions in the Communist Party. So I love the Chinese. I work with the Chinese a lot every day. And so often I just want to say that the people in the country don't reflect what's happening with the government and geopolitics. I think it's really important to understand, though, what is going on there. Here's a really interesting, and I'm going to just CT sprinkle.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. I gotta put something.
Go ahead.
So this was passed December 22nd, just recently.
Mm-hmm.
And so it looks like the current administration is strong on China, but when you read the fine print and you go deep into this legislation, it doesn't take effect until 2027. So if there's proof of things going on, you'd think that would just immediately take effect. But I see a lot of media pushing BYD because I think there's a short window to get those products into the United States. So just be aware of that, research and know what you're buying. And again, value trading. So when you buy investments, how does that ripple into the world and your home? And also when you purchase goods, what is behind that good? Always like to keep an eye on those things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, Mal, you little CT. I like that. By the way, the Blade battery, going back to it, I did look it up. So it's got 3 things going for it. Safety. It somehow passed the rigorous nail penetration test.
Jeez.
Jeez. You can put nails in it,
batteries.
it still works. So that's one thing. Space efficiency. I don't know. Blade might mean it's very thin, but it is like up to 50% more compact. So it packages very well in these vehicles, right? That's also a very big deal. And then lastly, the range and durability is allegedly excellent. They don't give me a specific number, but it looks like it's pretty good. So at least they're going down the right path with that. So that's pretty cool.
The Blade Runner. No, not the Blade Runner. The Blade battery.
Blade battery. It's just for information for the crossword puzzle. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery, an LFP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I know that I think that's the push that EV makers want to get the LFP because I think there's more efficiency to it.
Yeah.
It's lower cost and so forth. So I think that's the goal for US EV makers as well.
And conversely, the component, the other battery is the NMC, so lithium, nickel, magnesium, cobalt, and I think Elon might have been flagged for some cobalt problems in the past. But the other thing that you mentioned, something really interesting, Paulina, was that they're looking to grow in Mexico. So if China's in Mexico, and let's say Mexico's producing other cars with this material, with these batteries, we saw the same thing with China in Canada above us with steel. So we had blocked Chinese steel from coming in, but Canada bought it and we bought it from Canada. So it'd be interesting to see how that's going to play out and how we keep ourselves geopolitically safe with everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guess what time it is? It's time for Paulina to go bye-bye. She has to go bye-bye. Okay. So don't ask her any more questions, Mal. She's got to go.
All right. Thanks, Paulina.
Paulina, thanks as always. This is great. We're going to keep an eye on this BYD stuff, even if it stands for bring your own donuts. I don't think it stands for that, but nevertheless, I'm going to look into these. I'm going to go drive one if I could. I probably can't because it's not here. I'm going to go to Mexico for that.
Okay, so stay tuned on Lex's TikTok. I'll be
in Mexico at the BYD plant.
Yes.
Sounds good. See you next week, guys.
Okay, bye, Paulina. Have a great weekend. Bye. Oh, for 1 minute you were down below, and now I just did one of these, and it's over here.
I would love for you to go drive one. That would be neat. I know, but
I didn't have a chance. I'll be honest. I didn't have a chance to do enough research on this one. I don't think it's here in America. Someone, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen one. Have you?
Well, I think we see them on buses.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's more of the, the service, whatever you call it,
right.
segment.
And the concern is that they would have full exposure to anyone sliding that they would know wherever we're full transportation visibility here. And a defense department is no longer allowed to buy their batteries. But what do you think about that? That it was passed, last couple months ago, but it doesn't go in effect until 2027.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that you cannot buy a BYD in America yet. They do not sell their cars directly to the U.S. consumer. And electric buses and trucks are here, however.
Yeah.
There's a factory in California that produces these vehicles.
Oh, got it.
So,
then
yeah,
the Albuquerque mayor, just go watch a video. He speaks about BYDs and their performance. So
yeah,
there's a lot of positive media on it, but I'm not so sure. We might want to do a short on this. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Let's do that. I want to. I doubt it trades too. So I want to look into that as well.
Oh, that's right. She said it's not on the
yeah.
It's only in right. That's right.
Right. Okay. All right, Mal. Well, listen. You wearing white today. I went with blue. Very good. You have a good weekend. It's a happy Friday, right?
Yeah, I came straight from the gym, so I'm a little disheveled. So thanks, guys. Thanks for putting up with me.
Perfect. We'll see you hopefully next Wednesday on the Brew, right?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Bye, Lex. Bye everyone.
Live it up.
All opinions expressed by Tradier Hub contributors are solely the contributors' opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Tradier nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Hub contributors as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or to follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. The contributors' opinions are based on their own personal research, but neither Tradier nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries warrants its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. Any trades or positions discussed or referred to by contributors may or may not be actual live trades or positions. Such information is not intended to be a financial or investment advice. Tradier Inc. is the parent company of Tradier Brokerage Inc. Tradier Brokerage Inc. and Tradier Inc. are separate entities with their own products and services. Securities products and services are offered through Tradier Brokerage Inc. Tradier Brokerage Inc. is an independent subsidiary of Tradier Inc. All rights reserved. Member FINRA SIPC.